All right, so I want to talk about what is a dissertation committee, and I'm going to get into, all the nitty-gritties I think that are really important for a dissertation committee. So if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Maslach. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship, and I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people to help me out that I want to pay the favor for and to help you out as much as I possibly can. So in terms of a dissertation committee, this really varies between institution to institution. That's one thing that I've learned. But generally, it is a committee that helps you get feedback. It's basically like a panel that gives you feedback on your research that you're working on. So when you're doing a PhD, there's usually have some sort of volunteer committee that's 2 or 3 people that are working together to help you do better research. And so the dissertation committee sometimes will have like a lead, advisor or your, PhD supervisor, and then some external members. Generally, that advisor, so depending on the role and where they are situated, sometimes the advisor, at least at my institution where I did mine at Western, University of Western Ontario, they the advisor could not say anything during any of the sort of formal meetings, but you had meetings throughout it where you're interacting with your different advisors. So there was examiners that were examining what you're doing, and then the advisor just kind of had to sit there and sort of do clarification every once in a while. Generally what you're expecting with dissertation committees is that generally you've got your advisor that's there, but then you often have an expert in the area that is, pretty well versed in a particular area. And then another one that is some sort of figurehead for the university. And generally that's outside of outside of the department, often somebody that is in a completely random area. And I think this is pretty normal across different institutions. This is kind of a common setup. You try to get some overlap in terms of interest from, like if you're in business, you might try to get somebody from sociology or economics or something like that. But then, they really don't know the area that well. That's really, really common. They're more of just a, figurehead to kind of help you navigate the university system. So another thing that's really important to think about in terms of, what you might want to do is thinking of not only an expert, sort of a discipline or fields expert that is important, but you might want to think about somebody that has methodological focus, and as well as, that sort of theoretical focus. So thinking about those two sides are really, really important for us, or for you to do well. I think sort of having those two sides. Sometimes you might want to weight one or the other, but that's generally. And if I was to weight one more than the other, I'd almost always weight the sort of theoretical focus that you have. That's super important. The other thing that you could do is get, dissertation committee that, an outside member of the university altogether. So that was at my university. We had to have somebody that was outside the sort of college that I was in, and then outside of the, outside within the university, and then somebody that's outside of the university. That's pretty common. You see that set up as well. So sometimes you worry about sort of the network that you're going to have and having that dissertation committee that's sort of expanding your network. Honestly, I would not worry about it that much. Sometimes it could be a signal. I've seen this if you are, if you're doing something at an institution that maybe doesn't have, the recognition of some other institutions, but I just would not worry about it that much. It's not going to help you out as much as you think it does. Sometimes it does in terms of giving signaling effects and stuff, but honestly, it's not going to make or break or anything. And that was from my experience with sort of dealing with this kind of stuff. Obviously, maybe you would do better if you have, all Nobel laureates that are on your dissertation committee. Sometimes that does happen. But in general, for most people, it's not necessarily that big of a concern in terms of the signaling effect that you're going to have. The best thing you could do is just do good work, and continue just to do good work whenever, doing good research is really important. The other thing that you should really do is to check the university procedures in terms of setting up the dissertation committee. So having somebody that kind of knows and done this a few times is really important. That's going to help out in terms of you getting through the dissertation a little bit easier, because there is, just paperwork and things like that need to be done. So, in terms of what you should do, the number one thing that I would highly recommend, there's sort of two sides of the coin. One of them is being really rigorous and looking for somebody that's really rigorous, but at the same time, also somebody that's really nice. The sort of nice factor is, I think, is so undervalued in academia, but it is everything. I'm going to tell you, it's absolutely everything. Having somebody that has your corner, has your back, that does, that understands who you are and is going to treat you well. I mean, I'm going to tell you, if you want to sort of survive and thrive, I would really worry about that. I would really think about that. But, obviously not everybody listens. It's hilarious. I could talk about this stuff until I'm, blue in the face. 99% of the people are never going to listen to it. 1% might do something about it, but most people are not going to listen to it. So anyways, I'm just that kooky guy on the internet. Just be forewarned that if you don't have somebody that's sort of nice in your corner, it's all about that. You got to really look at that and not just go for, number of publications, technical expertise, all that kind of stuff. I'm telling you right now, if you want to have a decent life, and, just to be okay, listen to what I'm saying. But whatever, it's your choice. Anyways, give me a thumbs up, do subscribe to the YouTube channel, take care, and have a wonderful day. Bye.